The universe feels vast and stable, yet it may be far more fragile than we imagine. There could come a distant moment when the cosmos itself begins to tear apart. Not through explosions or collisions, but through the very fabric of space breaking down. This day would not be a sudden event, but a slow, unstoppable unraveling of everything that exists. At the largest scales, galaxies drift apart as space expands. This expansion is driven by a mysterious force known as dark energy. If this force were to grow stronger over time, it could begin to stretch the universe beyond its limits, setting the stage for a catastrophic cosmic tearing. At first, nothing would seem unusual. Galaxies would continue moving away from each other, but at an increasing speed. Over billions of years, the distances between them would grow so vast that light could no longer travel between regions, isolating parts of the universe completely. As expansion accelerates, gravitational forces would begin to fail. Galaxies would no longer hold together. Stars would drift apart, and the structure of galaxies would dissolve into scattered streams of matter, moving through empty space. Eventually, star systems would collapse. Planets would lose their orbits as gravity weakens relative to the expansion of space. Worlds that once circled their stars would drift into darkness, separated forever from their sources of light. Stars themselves would not survive. The force holding them together would be overcome, causing them to stretch and disperse. Their nuclear cores would no longer function, and the universe would rapidly lose its last sources of energy and light. As the tearing continues, even planets and solid matter would break apart. Molecules would be pulled apart as the forces holding them together become weaker than the expansion of space. The very idea of solid objects would disappear. Atoms would be next. The bonds between electrons and nuclei would fail, and atoms would cease to exist. Matter would dissolve into individual particles, drifting freely through an ever-expanding void. In the final stages, even subatomic particles might not survive. The fundamental forces that govern their behavior could be overwhelmed, causing reality itself to fragment at the smallest scales. Time would also lose its meaning. As space stretches infinitely, events would become disconnected. Cause and effect would no longer function in any recognizable way, and the universe would become a collection of isolated moments. Light, which connects distant regions of space, would no longer travel effectively. Photons would be stretched into infinite wavelengths, becoming undetectable. The universe would grow completely dark. Black holes, once the most powerful objects in existence, would also be torn apart. Their gravitational hold would weaken, releasing everything they once contained and dissolving their structure. At this point, the universe would be reduced to a thin, scattered field of particles. There would be no galaxies, no stars, and no structures, only fragments drifting endlessly in expanding space. Some theories suggest that beyond this tearing, new physics could emerge. The destruction of one form of reality might give rise to another, with entirely different laws governing existence. Observers, if any could exist, would witness universe transforming beyond recognition. The familiar cosmos would dissolve into something entirely unknown, where space, time, and matter no longer behave as they once did. The day the cosmos tears itself into nothing would mark the ultimate end of structure and order. It would not be an explosion or a collapse, but a complete unraveling where everything that once existed fades into an endless, silent, and fragmented void.